So, because I am now finally, obviously, getting deeper into my relationship with God, which the reason why it was able to go pretty fast was because, I've had deep relationships with God before. So, kind of coming back, it was almost like instantaneously, like him just being like, finally, But, yeah. So basically, I feel like the main reason I keep, hold on. I feel like the main reason I keep falling away is because of doubt. Like, I sit there and I'm like, do I really want to waste my entire life believing in something that has no evidence? But I'm going to tell you this, that there is actually plenty of historical evidence, proving the New Testament and the Old Testament as fact. But, of course, there is no actual physical, historical, or scientific evidence for any of the supernatural stuff that happened in the Old Testament and the New Testament. But there's also no proof for evolution either. So, but I still have always struggled with doubt. And I think I kept leaning towards agnosticism before because I knew I had felt something when I was a Christian, and I knew I felt something, but I didn't know if I could really know what that was. So I just kind of was like, well, I don't really think we can know if there is a God, but I'm not denying the possible existence of God, but I don't know if we can really for sure know that there is a God. But then I would also kind of go into nihilism, which was to the point where I was like, I don't feel anything anymore. I just feel so empty. What if nothing matters? And that's nihilism. What if nothing matters? So just do whatever you want. And then I realized that nihilism can't be true because I felt something when I was a Christian. So I know something matters. So that's why I was an agnostic for a time as well. But the reason I came back to Christianity was because it's not a happy life. Now you may say, oh, I know plenty of people who are agnostics and who are nihilists, and they say they have a happy life. And they look like they have a happy life. And I'm going to tell you, when you die, now some people think it's black after death and there's nothing. I used to. But if you could think for a second, if, let's say it was black, but you still had your thoughts in the afterlife. If you could think, sitting in the infinite void after death. If you could think, you could comprehend, and you were still you, just in a void of darkness after death. You know what your one regret would be? You regret. Now, you may say, oh, I would have no regrets. But I'm going to tell you this. You wouldn't feel happy. You wouldn't feel happy sitting in a dark void doing nothing forever. And you know what your one main regret from life would be? All of those times when I could have been doing something with my life. All of those times when I was just sitting around wasting time. All those times where I was just mean to this person, or I did this, or I did that, the moral compass, wherever, there's a whole ethological, paradox on the moral compass, where that came from. Jesus, God, Adam and Eve. But, and then you would just be sitting there thinking of all the things you could have done different while you're just in that infinite dark void of nothingness, doing nothing for eternity. So you would still, in the end, not be happy. And again, you could just say, oh, there's nothing after death, and your mind goes blank. But even, my main point is, though, is you would be doing nothing. My main point is that if you were still yourself, like if you still had your brain and you were still thinking in that infinite void of nothingness for eternity, the point is you wouldn't be happy, because nothing on this earth lasts forever. And happiness, therefore, natural happiness doesn't last forever. But you know what happiness does last forever? God's happiness, and that's what I've found. So I've found that the only thing I have left, because I was not happy at all with existence at all, and I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. But I've realized that the true happiness that lasts forever is from God. So I think the main point is when you have doubts, just realize that, like, God's not going to show himself to you unless you show that you want him to show himself to you. You know what I mean? You have to, it's not always going to happen right away, especially if you weren't seeking God before. He's going to test you. He's going to see if you truly want to be with him, and you're going to say he knows all things. But that's the whole point. If you just sit there and you say he knows all things, why should I even try? That's the whole point. He wants you to try. You know, he doesn't want you to be a robot that's forced to love him. He wants you to try and actually show that you love him. So just give him a chance, and you might find true happiness. And I know that this feeling, I don't know how to explain it, but I was having doubts, and God eventually just said to me, you know what? You feel this feeling, you feel happy. You can't explain it, and you know for a fact that it's from me. So just follow me and stop worrying. So I'm talking to someone out there. You know what you need to do? Just follow God and stop worrying. Amen.